Okay, you guys, good morning. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I'm using these earbuds, but
Will be uploading it. I'll probably be done with this video here, this live here before the other video uploads. But I wanted to get on here to talk about women who have made the conscious choice to decenter men. Um, as you guys know, decentering men is a strong exclusion of men in their lives on a romantic level. On a romantic level and women who have made the conscious choice to decenter men. And I want to be clear because decentering men for me is not about just one race of man. Decentering men is for all of you men. It's for all of you men. And it's not to say that there's no good men out here. I've never said that. It's about no longer willing to sacrifice myself into a system that has never legitimately benefited me. And I will often hear men say, well, we built the roads and we built this and we did that for women. It's not about that. I do not want to participate under the system anymore. So when I say that I'm decentering men, it's walking away from the patriarchal system and accepting that number one, you men collectively are never going to change. Number two, unless this system is gone, it's really not going to benefit women or children. In other words, the system has become so toxic, it's harmful for women and children and other men. Number three, the collection of you men are never going to do the work to be evolved human beings for you to have access to women. And in order for you to evolve men, it would require you to take accountability. It will require you to let this patriarchal stuff go, and it will require you to also let the monogamy, the entitlement of women, and the sexism go. And I know that the collection of you are never going to do that level of work. So it is literally a waste of time for a woman to even participate in this system when you men are not going to do the inner work or inner healing to become a better man for a woman to have access to. In other words, you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. And you can't keep asking women to sacrifice themselves for you when you're not willing to do the same for women. Okay. It's the entitlement. It is the mere fact that you men have been handicapped by the system. And by you being handicapped by the system, you're still expecting women to self sacrifice themselves and their femininity to be with you. The reason why you're not getting access to women, men, is simply because you're refusing to change. You're refusing to be a better person for a woman to deal with. You're coming in broken, not healed, asking women to deal with you and that brokenness and that unhealedness. And women are telling you, we are not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I want to get on here and say that, and this is going to be off topic, that a lot of you men are coming out asking women to do this and do that and be this way and be that. What are you willing to do for women? What are you coming to the table with men? Are you coming with a healed mind? Are you coming with good character? Are you coming with good intentions? Are you coming with godliness? Are you coming with a personality? Are you coming with character? Are you coming with things that will genuinely make you to be a good mate? Not a good man, but a good mate. Okay. These are the things that women are looking at. Do you have a job? Do you have a career? Are you financially stable? Can you financially take care of yourself and a woman. Because if you men cannot take care of you, how are you going to take care of a woman in a relationship? Do you realize, men, that it is your job to provide? When you're asking women to submit to you, you're asking women to completely trust you that you're going to take care of this woman. That is what submission looks like. If you men cannot take care of a woman or take care of yourself, relationships are the last thing you need to be thinking about. Asking a woman to self sacrifice herself for you when you're literally coming with empty cups is not going to make a woman submit to you. And it's not about you having money, it's about you being able to be financially secure in order to take care of yourself and a woman. And this is why, this is why I tell women stop dealing with broke men, because a broke man comes with scarcity and he comes with poverty. And if he doesn't have himself together, he doesn't have him together. What makes you think when you get into a relationship, he's going to be together? He's going to be relying on you to financially take care of you and him. So this man don't have a home, he don't have a car, he don't have a job, he don't have a career. He can't financially take care of himself unless he needs you to do it for him. Why would you submit to a man who has nothing? Because the man ain't got nothing. He's not going to give you nothing. Okay? And this is where you're getting the lack of reciprocation in, ladies. You're dealing with broke men with a broken mindset. And it's not just financially. A lot of these men are coming with all kind of mental trauma, emotional trauma. They're coming with baggage. They're coming with past relationships that they have not worked out. They're coming with disappointments and fears and all of these insecurities that they're carrying, and they're getting into relationships with you, and they're bringing that to you, and you're dealing with his shit and your shit, and talking about I don't feel needed in my relationship, or I don't feel like I'm getting what I thought this was going to be. In other words, you have a bunch of broken men running around trying to date women broken. A lot of these men are coming with STDs and STIs. They're coming with trauma bonds, and they're coming with cords that are hooked to other women, and they're entering into relationships with you. How are they going to give you anything when they don't have anything to give you? You can't get nothing from nothing, ladies. And a lot of these men don't have nothing. They don't have good intentions for you. They don't have their finances together. They don't have stability going on in their lives. And yet they're out here trying to date you like that. They're coming with red flags, asking you to settle for red flags and mediocrity. They can't even afford to take you out on a date, but they're asking you for loyalty. They're asking you for sex when they haven't even built respect with you. They don't have their stuff together, ladies. And they're just bouncing around from woman to woman, trying to look for something that only they can build within themselves. And I keep telling you, ladies, dealing with these men is a project. It is a project when you're dealing with these men. It is literally a project when you are dealing with these men. Men seemingly never have their lives together when they try to enter into relationships with women. And I don't know why they don't have themselves together. Asking you to literally settle for them while you're seeing the worst version of them. and you're giving him the best version of you because you've done the work, you've done the healing, you've done everything that you needed to do to be a better partner. Meaning you've gone to therapy, you maybe got a better job for better pay. You did everything you were supposed to do, ladies, to elevate yourself for a great mate. And these men don't even want to put in the work. They don't even want to put in the work to be a better mate before getting out here dating. They want you to settle for them just like how they are. Yeah, still paycheck to paycheck, knowing that they can't take care of you in a relationship, but out here trying to date, can't even give you the bare minimum, which is at least a $60 date. At least $60, man, would be considered a great date on a woman. You know, just a great date. That's just the bare minimum. At least $50 to $60. You men can't even do that. You complain about spending anything over $20. McDonald's food is $20 now, men. I don't go to McDonald's, but by the time I go to McDonald's and order, I don't know, nuggets for me and my kids, I'm spending $25. Ladies, y'all got to get some standards if y'all are gonna deal with these men. If these men can't even spend $50 to $60 on you on a date, they don't need to be dating you. And I'm not talking about for him and your meal. I'm talking about that's what he needs to spend on you for a meal. That would include your appetizer, your entry, and your dessert. And that's just the small end of the deal. Because most restaurants would charge anywhere from $70 to $80 for that. I'm being nice by saying 50 to 60. If you can find a deal somewhere, like a happy hour deal or something like that. On the weekends, go out to eat because sometimes the prices are cheaper on the weekend because that is when people are in town and more people are coming to visit and, more traffic rather than do the weekday. If these men can't even spend $50 to $60 on you, ladies, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And these men swear up and down that they're doing a hell of a lot, and they're actually not. And they're complaining about spending anything over $20, but asking you to go and get dressed up for a $20 meal. A $20 meal. They're asking you to get dressed up. You going out buying heels and buying jewelry and buying makeup and buying dresses, and you spending hundreds of dollars to get dressed up for a $20 meal. Man, if you take me out on a $20 deal, a $20 meal, I'm gonna wear jeans, a pair of sneakers, and an old t-shirt. I might even show up in my pajamas and house slippers. If you think you're gonna be taking me somewhere for $20. Don't expect me to get dressed up for a coffee date. You'll be lucky if I wear a dress and some sandals. It's the summertime. It's the summertime. What you men put out is what you're going to get back. So if you take a woman out and you're only spending $20 on her, don't expect her to come in blinging from head to toe. I'm not gonna get dressed up and you taking me somewhere for $20. I spend that amount of money on my kids when we go out to eat at a cheap, inexpensive restaurant. And that I don't go to places like that. If my kids want a burger, we're going to a restaurant and I'm ordering a burger. I'm ordering burger sliders, which are like $30 at Chili's. I'm taking my kids, and when I order that, I gotta order my kids something off the kids menu. I'm spending 70, 80, $90 in Chili's, which is one of our favorite restaurants, by the way. So what you put out, men, is what you're going to get back from women. You taking this woman to a 1-star, 2-star restaurant, like a Chinese inn. Don't expect her to come fully dressed up for you. You taking her on a little coffee date and spending less than $10 on a coffee date. Ladies, that's just a pair of sandals and a dress. Maybe a light hairstyle. Ponytail to the back with some bangs at the front. You and they want women to pour into these relationships with them, but they're not pouring anything into you. He take you to a 4-star restaurant. Well, that requires 4-star attire, uh, heels, a dress that may be a little bit costly. That's $150 dress there, right? At least 60 to 150 dress. By the time you get your dress and your heels, at least 100 to 150. Let's just put it that way. You go get your makeup, you go get your jewelry, you go get your hair done, you get your nails done. That's at least 150 to $200. That's how you should transact with these men. They want to spend cheap. You come and present yourself as cheap. We're matching energy all 2026. Well, y'all are. Y'all are. These men want to be tight with their money. Well, then they don't get full access to you. It's just that simple. I wish a man would ask me about going somewhere and he's spending less than $20 on me. Don't even come my way if you're not at least spending at least 50 to $80 on a meal for me. Don't come my way. Don't even look my way if you're not spending that kind of money. At least for a first date. Well, it shouldn't be about the money. It should be about the quality of the meal. Well, when times are changing, things are not cheap anymore. Okay. And it's expensive to take a woman out on a date. And we have to move along with the tides of the environment in the world. Back then, $30 took care of you and a woman on a date. Now, with inflation and the cost of living, you're looking at anywhere from $80 to $100 or more on a date with a woman now. At least a quality date. At least a quality date. Okay? So, if you men want quality from relationships with women, you have to be a quality type of man. You have to be a quality type of a man. And that means the way how you dress needs to be quality. The way how you carry yourself needs to be quality. The way how you present yourself to a woman has to be quality. Because what you put out is what you're going to get. It's kind of like planting the seeds. If your seeds are not planted with good intentions, they're not going to grow with good intentions. You don't nurture, you don't take care of the seeds that you're planting. Don't expect a full blown harvest. But stop asking women to settle for mediocrity when that's all you're giving women. And y'all know as well as I know, $20 is not a quality date. What I hear when a man offers that kind of money is, I'm cheap and I can't afford to take care of you. He's literally putting a value dollar around you. So men who don't take women out on dates, he's telling you you're not worth a date. I don't see potential in you as a potential mate. That's what I hear. So the effort and the quality that these men put into, and the lack of creativity that these men put into dates with you, ladies, determines how they view you. That's the point I'm trying to make. And if these men simply cannot afford to take you out on a date, well, then they should not be approaching you at all. And if you men are not putting any effort to take women out on dates to get to know them, then don't expect anything from a woman. Because the whole point of dating is courting to get to know this woman. and genuinely showing an interest in this woman. And if you're not willing to put in the effort, the creativity, or the quality into a date with a woman, either two things stand out to me. You can't afford this woman and her lifestyle, and or you're broke. And you're coming from a place of poverty and scarcity. And or you simply do not see this woman as a potential interest for you, as a candidate for you. You men treat dating like a job interview. You pick and determine what woman you're going to entertain and who you're going to pay for. And when one woman doesn't have the things you're looking for, you jump into the next one. And that's why dating feels draining to a lot of people, because it's not about genuinely getting to know the person. It's about what these people can possess for you and how they look on the outside for you. And this is why I don't take dating serious, because it's not built with intentions. There's no intentions behind dating this person. You're just dating them for what they can do for you and how they look. Oh, I want a woman who has a big butt, rather than the woman who may not have a big butt, may have the qualities you're looking for. It's all about superficial with you men. You want a 10 when you look like a 6. You talking about you a high value man, but you don't have a college degree. You don't own a business. You don't have a career. I own a business. I work for myself. You want a certain type of woman, but you're not producing that quality in yourself. Baby, it's matching energy. So therefore, someone like me deserves a certain type of man making a certain type of money. So what if women start putting price values on you men? If a woman is making $100,000 a year, she deserves a man making $150,000 a year or more. She shouldn't settle for the average guy making under $100,000. But you want women who are making that kind of money to settle for men making under that. And I'm not talking about $10,000 short ladies. If the man's making 90,000, you're making 10,000 more than him. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you got men out here making 50, 35,000, 45,000, asking you to settle for them when you know that you deserve more out of a relationship. Well, then you should give the average guy a chance. Why should she? She's put in the work to elevate her life. She deserves what she's put out there. She deserves a mate who has put in the equal amount of work that she has put in to get herself to where she's at. All of the education that lady had to go through, all of the time and energy in classes, she deserves all of the job interviews, all of the time and looking for the perfect position for her. She deserves the best when it comes to a mate. And if you can't produce that for her, get out of the way. Stop asking women to settle for you. You know you can't be that guy for her, but you asking her to settle for you to give you an opportunity when she knows that she deserves the best when it comes to a mate. And she deserves a mate who can be able to match her lifestyle and to be able to provide for her. Because I promise you, a woman making $100,000 a year ain't gonna want to settle for no guy offering her a $20 date. She may be used to men spending a few hundreds on her on a date. And if you're not coming with that kind of big Benjamins, you need to get out of the way. Not to say that you don't deserve a relationship, you just don't deserve that type of relationship she's looking for. Now, there are women out here who don't mind you spending $20 on them on a date. You should find those women who are okay with that. Those types of women probably don't have college degrees and They don't mind you sending them $20 for lunch. Hey, my girl. Hey, Kaylee. I'm just really tired of these men getting out here asking women to settle for mediocrity. And then they want these women to be dressed a certain type of way on a $20 date. I wish a man would ask me for a $20 date. Back in the 2000s, that is what men spent, $20. It's the lack of creativity and the effort with these men. And it's not about the money, it's about the quality and the presentation and the effort and the creativity. Because you can spend $100 on a decent picnic date and be creative and it can still be decent, or $40, $60. You go get the blanket, that's a little expensive, and the picnic bag. Do they still make picnic baskets? Now they have pails. We don't have picnic baskets no more. Maybe we do. And you might ask her to bring the champagne, and you bring the meals and everything, the whole shebang, maybe finger sandwiches and some, I don't know, drumettes and little finger stuff. And be very creative with the stuff, right? And spend a decent amount of money, but it's a nice little date. What I'm saying is there's no effort from the men who are asking women out on dates. And now they want women to come to them, pick them up, take them to the date, and go 50-50 with them. Okay. And then they're not even willing to put gas in the car for her. They want you to use your car to come get them, to take them out on a date that they initiated. And go get some cereal or noodles.
No, I went to surprise him for his birthday because today.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Did you even tell him happy birthday?
No, because I've been live. I've been recording.
Yeah, I went, I snuck back there while he's watching YouTube. I sneaked back there. I told your mama this is a surprise. Nobody knows about this. So
Okay, yeah, I was letting my daughter ramble on. Today is my nephew's birthday, and she just came to tell me how she surprised him and everything. And I haven't even wished him a happy birthday because I've been making content. I've been going live, and my other uploads should be up or should be screaming up by now. This live may post before that one. But yeah, I've been at that for over an hour, so right at an hour. But yeah, and my policy is when I'm live, my kids know not to be out here when I'm live. Um, Even when I'm working from home, they know their limitations. So that was just my policy. I don't allow my children on cam or even in any lives, period. To protect, them in legal reasons. But, you know, yeah, these men want women to just give them the best versions of themselves while they're not reciprocating this to women. And women are no longer we're no longer settling men for mediocrity or low effort. You want a woman to you initiate a date. No, this is what's going on. She got to plan the date for you and her, right? Because you can't plan it. Because when you meet somebody, you're supposed to ask them what do they like and what's their favorite color and all this stuff here. You men don't even do that. You just meet a woman, and if she looks attractive enough for you men, you pursue her. You don't care about her health status or her mental status or what's going on in her world. Oh, she just looked good, so I'm gonna just give her a chance. So you meet this woman, and you don't initiate the date. You just bring it up, and she planned the date, and she asking you what do you like and all this stuff here, and she kind of the date planner, and now you want her to come pick you up and take you and her out on a date, and she got to spend her money on you and her, because some of y'all don't even have the money to afford the date with the woman that you planned, which these women should stop doing that. If these men cannot properly plan a date and get to know you to plan a date, don't go nowhere with them. If you got to go and pick up a man to take him out on a date that he initiate, reject him. Reject him. Reject him. Because if he cannot plan a date and he cannot put in the effort for a date, that's telling you right now he sees no value in you. If he telling you, well, you can just come to my house, that's not a date. That's called a hookup meetup. That is no effort, that is no creativity, and that is very dangerous. You go into a man's home that you just met and he's calling that a date. That's not a date. That's called hookup. That's called him and you are about to hook up. Because sure enough, if you go to his house, that's what you're going to be doing. You know as well as I know you're not going to be sitting down watching and Netflix and chilling is not a date, man. I have Netflix on my phone. You men are going to have to get with the program. Hulu, Paramount, Peacock. I'm naming some of the apps on my phone. Yes, I got all these apps on my phone because my children they want Disney Plus, they want Paramount. I'm like, what the hell is on these apps that y'all can't watch on one app? And as I'm in the technical world as it is, right? And as I'm learning about all these different apps, I'm learning that some things are screaming on, like CBS is screaming on Peacock, but not on Hulu, or not on Hulu. So I got Hulu, I got Paramount, Peacock, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and I'm like, what is what is on these apps that y'all need to watch that you can't watch on one damn streaming app? And then they telling me, well, we want a Roku stick on the TV. I went and bought a Roku stick. Yeah, when we move, a Roku stick. Because what they're wanting to see is on these different streaming apps. So the matter of the point is Hulu and all of these little cheesy things are not dates, men. If you really want to put in the effort to get to know a woman, you have to put in the effort to get to know a woman. You have to put in the effort. And that comes with creativity and actual action. And the problem is, you men are not putting in that effort or action. You're just expecting women to settle for you because you talking on the phone with a woman and doing an inexpensive little hookup. You think that that is a date. That's not a date. Me and you talking on the phone, we're just talking on the phone. We're just associates. I do that with my job or with my business people. That's how I see that. If you really want to get to know a woman and spend time with her, men, you have to put in the effort. And that requires you to meet this woman in person in a presentable setting to get to know her. You walking in a park is not a date. You holding hands with her is not a date. You sitting up in her car with her or in his car, ladies, that's not a date. That's not a date. These men do not want to put in the effort to get to know women. They don't want to put in the effort. They just want everything handed to them. That's it. And they think that they are owed or entitled access to women that they haven't put in the work for. You taking a woman out on a date, man, is not equivalent to you cracking some cheeks. Oh, I took you out to dinner. I spent this amount of money on you, and I thought it wasn't about the money. I thought it was about you getting to know the woman. So, in other words, you took her out the date. You took her out on a date just to clap some cheeks. So you spent $100 or $150 on her. Now you think you are owed some cheeks. So you making the date a transactional for some cheeks. Yeah, I spent $150 on you, so you coming back to my place. Ladies, what do you do for that? He spends $150 on you. What is that? 75 a piece? There you go. Drop $75 down on the table in cash or $75 off on your card. I tell my ladies over here, when you go out on dates with men, have a minimum of $150 to $200. Have it in cash or have it on card. Why? Because when situations like that come up, you need an exit out. Have I ever had that happen to me where a man has taken me out to dinner and thought because he took me to dinner he deserves some cheeks? Yep. Luckily, he only spent less than $100 on the date, and I had exactly $100 even. I ended up paying for the date, and I left, and I never heard from him again because I blocked him. I tell the ladies here, if you're going to deal with men, have a minimum of $150 to $200 on you. Period. Your limit. And never go over that limit when a man asks you, what do you want to eat? Always keep your budget below your limit. So if you have $100 on you, keep your limit. Keep whatever you're ordering under $50. If he spends $150 on you and you have $200 and he's with the bullshit, give him $100. Get out of that situation. That's an exit plan. Even though he initiated and the date didn't go right, get out of the situation. These men honestly think them taking you out to dinner, spending less than $100 or $50 is equivalent to some cheeks. Once again, folks are out here dating with no intentions behind it. You taking a woman out on a date is not equivalent for you to get some cheeks. If you want some cheeks, go hire a SW worker. If you thinking you taking me out to dinner is going to be equivalent for you some cheeks, we're not, and you let it be known to me, we're not going anywhere. I'm going to reject you. And these same men get online complaining about a male loneliness epidemic and why they don't have a woman. Because you're treating your potential dating partner like a hoe. You're treating her like a hoe. You're already disrespecting her by telling her, if I take you to the Chinese place, you're going to have fun time with me. And you're sitting online talking about how you can't get a woman. Ladies, these men are creating their own male loneliness epidemic by how they're treating women. You know, they meet you for the first time and you asking them for a picture, and they sending you a picture damn near nude. And they're mad at you because you're mad at them for disrespecting you, right? Okay. Yeah, it is an insult. It is an insult big time when a man is showing that level of, just like these men sending pictures of themselves to women that they just meet. That's the first thing this woman see is you playing with yourself, or you on cam playing with yourself. She's seeing your whole package before she can get to know you as a package. And you're upset with this woman because she's rejecting you because you're disrespecting her, and you're trying to figure out why she won't give you a chance because you've already shown disrespect from the beginning. When she's asking you to send her a picture of you, she wants you at least in a tux, in a tie, a suit in a tie, a nice pair of slacks, and a button-up shirt with your watch and chain on. Why is this so hard for men to understand what women are asking for? When she's on the dating profile and she's looking, if you ladies, if you're on the dating apps and you scrolling through these men pictures and they got pictures of them, and what I find, these men are always in nature, holding fishing rods and holding fish and standing behind guns and old dinged out t-shirt and jeans. But you're on a dating app looking for a woman, but your profile picture is not a decent picture. Ladies, whenever you get the chance and you're still out here dating men for whatever reason, I don't know, go, and I'm going to get into the context of my live about how women are going to not only have to decenter men, but decenter women too. And I'm going to get into what I'm talking about here in a moment. And I want you to do this little assignment. Get on a dating app, not to look for a man, just get on a dating app, and I want you to scroll through the profile pictures. And I want you to look at how the men here dress here with their profile pictures. And some of these men are holding children, their children in these profile pictures. Some of them are holding guns, some of them are holding money. These are all red flags to me. Because especially you men who are holding your children in these pictures, does the mother of those children know that you're plastering their children all on these dating apps? Do they know that? Did they give you permission to plaster their children on dating apps or any kind of social media outlet like that? And I don't want my children exposed on social media. I don't want my children exposed on, and I have told my ex not to be putting pictures of our children up on his Facebook page or no other social media outlet. You will never ever find my children plastered like that unless I'm plastering them myself in my community wall, which I did share a picture of my daughter on there for her birthday. Okay. But that was at my discretion. But I have told my ex not to plaster my children all on social media like that, especially not on a dating app, which he's not on there, I guess. To me, that is the most disrespectful thing you can do, is to get on a dating app and have your children sitting on your lap, or you holding your child, holding a baby on a dating app as a man, and talking about you're looking for a girlfriend. To me, it's giving like you're looking for a babysitter. That's what it's indicating to me, especially on a dating app. Or you're sitting on a dating app wearing a dinged out t-shirt and some holy jeans and not dressed properly, but you're on a dating app. You're on a dating app standing behind guns. Oh, I can't say that word. You're standing behind pew pews. but you're on a dating app looking for a woman. You wearing a mask and holding a pew pew, but you looking for a woman. You're sitting on a dating app profile holding money in your hand. First thing I'm going to think in my mind, is he a drug dealer? Ladies, so when you're out here looking, it's when you're out here looking at these men and their character, it's even beyond just their character. It's how they present themselves too on social media. How did that blank out? Would you date a man who's holding pew pews in his hands and holding a whole lot of money in his hands and splashing his children on dating apps like that? Uh, would you date a man who's on there nude, no clothes on, trying to get a relationship with a woman? Would you date a man like that? Would you give a man the time of day dating a man like that? If this is his first presentation to you on a dating app? Or you talking to a man and the first thing he do is he video cams you and you seeing him playing with himself laying across his bed while your children are in the house and you're watching him do this? And it's been many a times I've had to end video calls with men because I'm thinking I'm gonna see him sitting up in a chair or on a sofa or at his job video chatting with me. No, would prefer if he was sitting on his job video chatting with me to let me know he has a job. No, 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 no. He's sitting up on his bed in a chair playing with himself. And my kids are walking through the house and, they come through and my children have a tendency, they like to look at my phone. And yeah, I am going to have to order some privacy screen protectors for this phone and put it across my phone, to kind of blanket out my phone. And I've had to end video calls with men abruptly because they playing with themselves and my children are walking throughout the house. And you hear him moaning and groaning, right? Playing with himself, lusting with himself. And my children are asking me, what the hell is that? What is that sound? And I'm having to play it off and say, what sound? What are you talking about? I heard somebody moaning. That's what I'm talking about. That level of disrespect right there is just something I'm not gonna tolerate with no man. When I ask to video chat with you, I don't want to see you playing with yourself. When I ask you to send me a picture of yourself, it's not a picture of your manhood. It's a picture of you. Ladies, we have to stop giving these men credit for this low effort shit. Even if they do send you a picture of themselves, if they can't send you a decent picture, up to date, decent picture of them in decent attire and a proper setting for the backdrop, stop giving these men attention. I would prefer if a man took a picture of him in his work uniform, or he would video chat with me at his desk at work if he has the time to do so. Just a quick 2-minute video would be great when I ask for video chat. And see, by me working at home, well, I have to dress a certain type of way myself. I can't be wearing my old nightgown doing work. I can't wear an old holy shirt doing work for my job because all of that is being shown in the video when I'm recording. So I have to wear nice jeans, a t-shirt, casual wear when I'm working from home. Maybe wear some comfortable slippers. Like right now, I'm wearing some slipper socks. That would be decent, to work at home in. But it's the lack of effort that gets me with these men and what they're presenting themselves to women. Even out on dates, if they can't wear a nice pair of slacks and a button-down shirt, you know, with a belt, what what are we doing here? What are we doing here? If they can't put on decent attire to get to know a woman, to take a woman out on a date, that says everything you need to know about this man. He doesn't care about himself, and he clearly don't care about you. Same thing with these men's hygiene and how they look, how they take care of their grooming and all that. All of this is hand in hand, ladies. And we have got to stop telling these men that what they're doing is acceptable, because it's not. It's not acceptable, ladies. It's disrespectful when a man invites you out on a date that you got the plan for him and you. Let's start there. And put in the effort to go see him, and then they don't even want to meet you. Like if he lives out of town and you're closer to a town, and you say, well, let me just meet you in the middle. Some of these men want you to meet them where they're at. I wouldn't advise you to do that. If these men cannot meet you in the middle and meet you at least 30 minutes or 45 minutes from where they live, it's not worth the headache. I have a limit for if I were out here dating. I would not want to date someone who's out of state, or I would not want to date someone who uh is not a certain radius from where I live. Like I know that I'm getting ready to move to Baton Rouge. I wouldn't mind dating and meeting someone from Baton Rouge or the surrounding towns. In other words, if you cannot come and meet me within 30 to 45 minutes, I'm not interested in meeting you. Anything beyond 45 minutes that's going into an hour, where it's going to take you an hour to come and see me, I'm not remotely interested. And the reason why I'm not remotely interested is because, number one, long distance relationships have never worked out for me. Unless you legitimately work in the town or in the state where I reside. Secondly, what it's indicating to me is if you can't find a partner where you live, then something is wrong. What I've had men tell me is they've always found that the decent women that they want live out of town or live out of state. I don't know about all that. You're not telling me you can't find one decent mate where you live? You got to go 6 or 7 states over to find somebody? How is that going to work out unless one of y'all are willing to relocate or travel to meet the other person? How is that going to work out? I mean, it can be done if you're willing to put in the work and effort, but it's just going to be a lot of work and effort to get that done. Not to get off key, like I said, these men want you to pour into them, but they're not willing to pour into you correctly. And see, nobody's talking about all this part here when it comes to dating these men, because everybody's bypassing all that. All of this stuff is important that goes along with these men. Their hygiene, their grooming, how they present themselves meeting you, the dates, all of this is a part of these men and their whole entire makeup. And if these men cannot put in the effort to improve these areas, then they do not deserve access to women. If ladies, they can't meet your financial standard or what you want, if you want a man who makes a certain amount of money, then that's what you deserve if you can match his energy. So if you're making $65,000 a year and you want a man making $65,000 a year or more, that is your financial standard. Just like you have a dating standard. You might not want to date a man who's this certain height. You might not want to date a man who has children. These are your dating standards and preferences. And you should hold on to those things. Just like I've had men tell me that they want curvy women. Okay, I'm not a curvy woman. I'm I'm toning down, but I'm not curvy. You should go and get what it is that you want. I'm okay with accepting rejection, but I know a lot of people can't accept rejection. I've had men tell me they want a woman who is a certain phenotype. I'm not mad about that. I'm not about to change who I am and how I look to appease you. Go get what it is that you want. Thank you for your time and interest in me, but hey, I can walk away and accept rejection. Okay. But a lot of these men can't. So if you want a man who's 5'7" or taller, that is your dating preference. Don't mean that you're gonna get it. That's a want. It ain't a need. But it would be nice if God would bless you with a man who's 5'7". If I were dating, I'm 5'4". I wouldn't mind dating a man 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", even 6'0", 6'1". Yeah, long he has to be taller than me. So I don't date. I don't mind, and because I'm short, right? And my daughter teases me about how short I am. For the cabinets, like where we're moving, the cabinets are way at the top. So my daughter is taller than me. My son is taller than me. My goddamn youngest daughter is taller than me. Yes. And my kids, and we have done the test, you guys. I have made my children take off their shoes and stand next to me, and all of my children are taller than me. So I'm like a kid to my children, even though I'm a parent. They think I'm one of their friends. They think I'm one of their little friends. Yes. And I have to keep reminding them I am still your parent. Like my daughter come out here just like we friends, the way how she was talking. And she would tell me, yeah, because you just mad because I'm taller than you. Yes, you guys, my ex is taller than me. His wife is fucking taller than me. I'm even though I'm 37, I could easily pass for 20 something. I'm literally like a kid. I look like a kid. When I go into well, I don't drink liquor or buy cigarettes, but back in the Gap, I used to have to buy them for my mom. And the people knew that I was coming in there getting for her. They will ask me, Akina, we need to see your ID. And I'm like, really? She says, girl, you look like you under 20. And I'm like, what? And I would show them my ID. Girl, you are not, no, you're not that. I said, yes, I am. And they were like, what, girl? You look like you 20 something, like you underage. And I'm like, what? And she says, girl, by you coming in here and on cam and I'm working here, I have to scan your ID because you look young. And and this happened a lot at Cracker Barrel. And I'd be like, you know what? At a Shell station, you know what? And now when I go in there, I don't go in there now, but the last time I was in there, they were like, okay, you still look young. I'm like, yeah, because I don't have a man sucking me dry. I don't have a man draining me of my life force and aging me back. Of course I look young. And I take care of my health. And that was one of the advantages I've had with men. And that's why I have no problem attracting younger men because they think I'm the same age as them. And when I tell them that I've had 3 goddamn children who are teenagers, they tell me, no, you haven't. I said, yes, I have. And they're like, girl, you did not have no 3 children. You look like you 20 something. And when I tell them that I'm in my mid 30s, they can't believe it. They cannot believe that I'm in my mid 30s and I have had 3 children who are damn near teenagers. My oldest and my youngest daughter are teenagers. Then people can't fathom that. They don't believe that. They don't that shit. Some people don't think my kids are my kids because my children, my girls, and my son, they have a different phenotype, and they could easily pass for Mary Bell's children. Uh, at the end of the day, ladies, we have to stop accepting this breadcrumbing from men. We have to stop accepting this low tier effort from men, giving them passes when they don't deserve that, telling them that their behavior is acceptable when we know that it is not acceptable, and it is not our standards, and it is not our requirements. And yes, you deserve having a man in your life that can match what you're looking for in a partner. You want a man to make a certain type of money, and you know you want him to have good hygiene, and dress well and be groomed well, and no children and all that. You deserve that. If that is what you want in a mate, and you can match what you're looking for, he may say he don't want to date a woman who has children. That's fine. And that's what confuses me about these men who get on here. Yeah, because I don't like single moms. I don't screw single moms. Okay, sir, you don't have to date single moms. You could easily pass them up and go get women who don't have children if you want a family. Nobody's asking you or forcing you to date a single mom. I think when men get online and do that, I think you've been rejected by a single mom, and you just mad because she don't want you. How about that? You intimidated by her or something, because or you were raised by your single mom and you hate her, and now you hate all single moms. So stop talking about single moms, and stop talking about what you don't want in a woman, and go get the women you want. If I know that I don't want a man who doesn't make a certain amount of money, I'm not going to settle for one who doesn't match that. Dating is just like going through a catalog, ladies. That's all it is. You pick and choose how you want your man to look, and you build him to that degree. That's all it is. Just like dating apps, it's scrolling through a catalog. I mean, it's literally scrolling through a catalog. You write down everything you want in a man, and you get on a dating app, and you start putting that in your little preferences match list, and it will literally generate the guy for you. Yeah, yeah, yep. That's all it is. That's just how it is when you get on dating apps. It's just how it is in dating, the dating world. It's just like another goddamn job interview. That's it. You have a few candidates that you pursuing that may fancy what you're looking for, and you pick the best man for the date, for the job, for the relationship. And that's why dating is exhausting for y'all, because it's like another damn job. Or you could just let God bring you somebody. How about that? That's where women like me come into play. Like, I'm not looking for the perfect guy. Oh, I watched that movie. You ladies need to go watch the movie The Perfect Guy. Excellent movie. Excellent movie. Go watch it. Morris Chestnut is in it. Worth a watch. And ended up meeting what she thought was the perfect guy, come to be the worst nightmare. Eye tech guy, and he was just batshit crazy throughout the movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I've been watching a lot of my old movies, like Obsessed, and uh my movies with Biblical A Fox in it. Like, I'm always watching those types of movies. Today is Lifetime Movie Day. So, ladies, you should definitely go and either wait on God to bring you your mate, or continuously keep getting on dating apps looking for your perfect man. I'm not saying that you can't find him there, but you can just simply wait on God to bring you somebody. If you're still out here looking for a mate. Um, you know, but the way how these men are, a lot of them, and how crazy they are, and how unhinged they are, is it really worth it to get on dating apps with how crazy these men are? No, no. You don't know what's going on with these men mentally. If they're in a good mind space. You know, A lot of those men on dating apps are married. They have criminal records. No background checks have been done on them. The dating apps tell you that. A lot of them have baggage that they're coming with. A lot of them are married. A lot of them are not divorced from their wives and sitting on dating apps. I don't do dating apps. I don't do Facebook dating. I don't do Instagram dating. I don't do TikTok dating. I don't do Facebook Messenger dating. I don't do Badu. I don't do Plenty of Fish. I don't do Tag. I don't do anything. I'm not out here on dating apps for men. Okay. I'm not on dating apps for men. I'm not getting on dating apps for a man. I'm not on dating apps pursuing a man. I figure if God wants me to have a mate, he will literally have to put that man in my path on my journey, and we will have to cross paths. And until that happens, I am gonna be content and stay single. I have prayed to the Most High, do not send me a man. Do not send me a man. I have too much going on in my life to be dealing with somebody's unhealed, dusty son. I have too much going on in my life to be dealing with a man at all. Between me working 6 hours a day, running my household, I don't have time to be dealing with these men. Um, you ladies could just wait on God to send you a man. You know, the way how dating is now, it might be a recommendation for you ladies. Instead of getting out here trying to pursue a man, let God send you a man. You know, at the end of the day, ladies, you know, that's how I feel about decentering men. It is a complete rejection of the system. and this low tier effort that these men keep giving women. And it's not just that, it's the whole entire system. And the fact that I know that these men are never going to change. And when I say they're never going to change, they're never going to take accountability for how they mistreat women. They're never going to get away from the misnogamy and the sexism and the misnomer and all of these things that are harmful towards women, and the stalking and the raping and the essaying that you men keep doing to women. That's why women are opting out of dealing with you men for safety reasons. The mere fact that, you guys refuse to take accountability for how you treat women. Uh, the emotional labor that comes with having to deal with you men because you don't know how to function without a woman. Your whole entire existence is centered around what a woman can do for you rather than what you can do for yourself and a woman that you're involved with and love. The reason why I say that you ladies are going to have to decenter women too is because a lot of these women out here who deal with men are dealing with toxic men in unhealthy relationships and asking you to be their psychiatrist, to be their therapist. Um, I am not signing up to take on that load coming from women where you just want to get online and you want to complain about your man all day, but you're not leaving the toxic relationship that you chose to be in. You see the red flags, you see what the man is doing and what he's not doing, and you continuously keep staying in that relationship. It is not women's responsibility, anyone's responsibility, to burden themselves with your drama of your relationship. And I'm talking about single women who are dealing with their married women friends. It is why I've had to take a step back from my married women friends because some of them are not in healthy relationships right now. And they want to complain about their husbands all day. They want to complain about what their man is doing. And I don't want to hear that as a single woman. As a single woman, I have peace. I don't have to deal with that burden of a relationship with a man, and a lot of you are going to have to understand that, you know, you're not obligated to deal with your friends like that. Your friends should be there to support you. They should be there to support you. Your married friends should be there to support you and be there for you emotionally and stuff, especially if you are a single woman and you have children. Your married friends have their support systems with their husbands. They have their support system with their husbands. Because if anything is going on with this woman, that is who they're supposed to be turning to. But a lot of these men think that a lot of these women think that the single friends are supposed to be their crutches while they go through whatever they're going through with their husband, and that's not the case here. At the end of the day, ladies, y'all are gonna have to distance yourself from not only men, but some of these women who are so male centered. Some of these women who cannot let the patriarchal system go when they know that they're in unhealthy relationships with men. Women who refuse to hold men accountable. Women who would sacrifice their friends and other women and children over a man. That would be pick me's and male centered women. Women who are so brainwashed by the system Ladies, your biggest threat isn't the men, it is the pygmies and the male centered women. They're just as dangerous as the men. Uh, I've learned that while I'm on this journey of sovereignty, I've learned that I have had to cut off a lot of my male centered friends and pygmies and women who cannot let this system go, and women who would push me in the front of a moving train or a bus to save their own ass when it comes to a man. I've had to cut off women who just refuse to stop censoring men all day. I've had to cut them off. Your whole entire identity is about your man, your man, your man, my man, my man, my man. I get tired of hearing about that. You should have a life outside of a man, ladies. You should be building your own dreams, your own aspirations, working on your own goals and creating goals, not centering your life around a man. Because men are like buses. When one comes, another one right behind him. And you just keep focusing on a man all day. You don't have a life outside of a man. Your whole entire identity is serving this man, cooking and cleaning for him, giving him whoopee and having children. That's your identity. So you're telling me that you're just a slave. You're just a slave. You don't have time for yourself. You don't have time for your friends. You don't have goals that you're working on outside of this man. You're not working on anything. Your whole entire life is taking care of a man. So you taking care of a man, going to school, working a job, raising your kids, your kids, because it's literally going to be your kids. Even though he had them with you, he's going to turn around and say you wanted them as much as he did. You're raising your kids, giving him whoopee on demand when he wants it, and trying to keep yourself up. Girl, that's too much going on there. So you got to take care of you, eat right, be healthy, so this man don't leave you if you get back. You got to give him whoopee on demand, whether you on your period or not. You got to tired or not, right? You got to do the whole 9 yards to keep your man and his ego above yours. And give him whoopee and drain him dry so that he don't get drained by some other woman, because that's literally what you got to do. You got to get the job, girl. You got to get the job done. You got to take care of your man in the bedroom so he doesn't leave you for another woman. You got to cook and clean. You got to dress a certain type of way. That's too many jobs going on. You got to dress a certain type of way, function a certain type of way around a man. Work and cook and clean for him. Food got to be a certain type. Too much compromise. Too much compromise. I am so grateful to be single because I don't have to compromise nothing for a man. If I want to dress a certain type of way, I can. I ain't got to worry about cooking for no man. I'm cooking for me and my children. Today we're eating chili dogs. Why? Because I don't feel like cooking. We're getting ready to move. I'm saving all that energy and time for when we move and when the movers come and get everything and get my home situated. I don't have time to be doing none of that for no man. Cooking and cleaning and giving him whoopee on demand. And I ain't got to be satisfying no man and doing all this and doing all that. Last night I had a friend call me and I was in my bed laying down and he wanted to be sensual and I fell asleep on him. Shit. I was tired. I was tired. And I didn't have to talk to him last night. I did not have to talk to him last night. I ended up dozing off, going to sleep. And I had told him that I was tired before we started talking. But he kept on insisting that we talk last night. and I just fell asleep on him. And see, the good thing about being single, I can hit that end button. I can shut it down and say, hey, I'm getting ready to go to bed. Good night. And shut it down. And he was like, yeah, because I wanna come and see you. I'll be out this way, this way meaning out in my area Thursday. And I'm like, you're not coming to my house to come and see me because I'm gonna be too busy trying to get everything situated to move for Friday. You're not coming to my house. There's no need for you to come to my house to come and see me. No need to come and do that. I'm gonna be wrapping things up, Thursday with stuff and getting prepared to leave for Friday morning to move out. And it is not going to definitely be time for me to be meeting and greeting anyone during that time while I'm transitioning to move. And ladies, that's what you're gonna have to do. Put yourself first. These men want you to stop everything that you're doing to focus on them. And it's not your place to do that. So last night was very rejuvenating because I ended up falling asleep on my friend. And I kept hearing him say hello, 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 and I was in a good sleep and I disconnected that phone call. Turned my phone over. When I flip my phone over, because I don't sleep with my phone facing up, I flip it over. And when I have it sat, when I flip it over, it hangs calls up and it disconnects and shuts down. I disconnected that phone, baby, and I went to sleep. I didn't owe him not an ounce of my time or energy. I sure did. And see, that's the joy of being single. You can talk on your phone when you feel like it and when you don't feel like it. I don't have a roster of men calling me all day, every day. If anything, I have these men chasing me every day, all day. And see, when you don't have a man, ladies, you can do what you want to do. You can go to bed when you feel like it. Of course, you're gonna wake up on God's timing, but you can wake up when on time when you feel like it. Like today is Saturday. This is my rest day. I'm off too, and I got a long weekend until Tuesday, and then I'm off until Friday. Hey, life is good over here. I'm gonna be enjoying this time, you know, until we move. And that's the joy of like I said, that's the joy of being single. You can kind of do what you want to do. So this is my rest period until I go back to work Friday. Even after we move, I'm gonna be busy Friday and Saturday with work. Because it's not like a big heavy move that I have to do, but it's a move, right? And it's not a whole lot that I have to do to kind of get situated, right? It's not a whole lot that I have to do. You know, it's a quick move, less than 30 minutes, boom, I'm moved. And I don't have a whole lot of furniture that I have to get or none of that because everything is literally furnished in my apartment. So it's not a whole lot of arm and leg work that I have to do by waiting on furniture and waiting on the movers and all this and that with furniture and furniture company. I don't have none of that to deal with. And that's the good thing I like about this apartment. It's already furnished. Most apartments are becoming furnished like that. So it's just a matter of me moving in, me getting settled, and literally going right back to work later that day. unpacking and cleaning up and stuff like that, and doing my work and stuff, getting us settled where we're going to be, right? Not a huge major transition because we're literally moving to a town we already lived in. We're moving to a familiar area that we've been living in. So it's not a huge transition, but it's a transition. And if anything, it's a transition from one environment that's no longer serving me into an environment that's going to be positive and calm. So I'm not going to be on here much longer because I've been on here an hour, and I'm sure you probably are watching the video before this one. But the matter of the point is, you ladies are going to have to choose peace. And whatever peace looks like to you, then that's what you're going to have to run with. And for me, I'm leaving this environment because of work, because I work from home, and of course, schooling and other things why I'm transitioning here. But not only that, it's legitimately because um, I'm not a codependent person. Um, in my family, they're gonna have to learn how to adapt to these changes. I'm just hoping that they can get a caretaker in, someone into a system while we're leaving here. And some people are very codependent. They can't function without people. They have to have someone in the home with them in order to function. Because if they don't have anyone in the home with them, they can't function by themselves. And I cannot caretake for my grandmother or my mother who are both sick. I have to take care of my children. I'm their caretaker. So, and the type of work that I do is kind of tedious and it's technical work. So I have to have a separate living space to be able to work and function. And right now that's not possible. So this is why this move has to happen for work related and work performance and other things that I'm working on. So that being said, you guys, I'm gonna get off of here. I need to go eat breakfast and go check in on my kids. When I walked in the house on mute, they were fixing breakfast. So I'm gonna go see what they're doing. And outside of that, that's pretty much it, you guys. I just wanted to update you guys on me moving and what's going on with the move, and how you ladies are gonna have to decenter these men and these women, especially these women who cannot let this system go and keep praising these low effort men, because it's pretty much what's going on here. These women are telling these men what they want to hear and telling them that what they're doing is great and how they're treating them is great. And these men are running around thinking that what they're doing is what women want. And it's not what women want men. Women who have standards and women who have morals and values are not going to settle for your low tier effort and crap. And if you can't be a decent human being and you can't put in effort on dates and plan dates, and you can't treat women with respect and treat women like human beings, well, then you don't get to have a woman. You deserve to be lonely. You deserve to go through a male loneliness epidemic. Women are asking you for the bare minimum, just human decency, and you men can't even do that. You can't even do that. And it's terrible. It is so terrible how these men come off. It is terrible. And they wonder why they're going through what they're going through. And I don't feel sorry for them. You guys, I'm excited about the move. It's happening very quick. Um, it's happening quicker than what I thought. My objective was to get moved, then get lined up with work. But now I'm lined up with work, and now I need to move. Um, And that's kind of the process that I like to do with any kind of moving. Kind of know which field that I'm going to be in and what kind of work am I going to be doing before I go and move to an area, especially when you're working from home. Because some of these jobs require that you have to be a certain amount of miles and distance from where you're going to be working. Um, Especially, and that these are the cons with working from home. For all of you who are considering working from home, your home has to be your work environment, how it's presented when you're working from home on camera. Um, who would have ever thought that I would have been in the technical department, technical world, working from home, right? You literally have to have your home set up to work from home, equipment and all, laptop and all, headwear and all, head gasket, not head gasket. Like I have to have headwear for work, the type of work that I do, right? It's all literally what is required. And if your home is not set up for work from home, it's not going to work for you. It's not going to be successful for you. Um, Most of these jobs require that you have to be a certain miles radius minutes from where the workstation is. Like you may be working from home, but then the main headquarters, you have to be 30 minutes from that facility because you may have to do hybrid work. You may have to come into the office and do hybrid work. Another thing for all of you who are thinking about working from home, your workstation has to be set up. And see, I have a work table. I have a work table. Literally to sit a desktop one and all of my home. I'm like the computer whiz. Um, my table and all of that stuff has to be set up. Um, Another thing, your environment is going to tell your employer what kind of person you are and how you're living and how you're carrying yourself and how you're presenting yourself on cam. I have had to upload quite a bit of stuff for security clearance. Don't get me started with the amount of background checks that I had to get done to even work for this company. A lot of technical stuff has to be included. So, ladies, when you're talking about working from home, there's a lot that has to be factored. It is not easy getting jobs from work from home. It's not. It's not easy. Can get pretty intense there, even with the process of getting work from home jobs. And with everything going on with this Ebola and hantavirus, we may all be working from home before it's over with if this doesn't get contained in this state. And then if we go on lockdown and have to go in quarantine, we still have to make money and get paid, right? So I'm grateful to be able to work from home, and I am set up to work from home, right? Outside of Akina's Garden Healing, um, which I've decided to put on the back burner into later in the year, even going into next year, until I can complete my program at my college, you guys. And then I do schooling from online. So I'm equipped to work from home. I've set up a life to be able to do that from home. Okay, and that's why I'm in the field that I'm in and why I do what I do. But the matter of the point is, it's not easy getting these work from home positions. It's not. It's very, very competitive. And not only that, Not only that, ladies, it's tedious work because you're not dealing with a standard employer doing a 9 to 5 when you're working from home in some cases. Okay. So I just wanted to get on here and share that with me doing what I'm doing, it's a lot of work performance and quality of things that have to be factored in. Um, so just know that the work from home field is very competitive. And I would advise you to go watch some TikTok videos about what I'm talking about, work from home, and how tedious that is for people who do legitimately work from home. It has its pros, but then you also have to factor in the cons, such as if you're living with people or you're in an unsafe environment and have to work on the outside, or there's a lot of distractions in your home, or issues going on in your home, and internet problems, internet glitching, maybe a time the internet is down, or you have to travel still but still required to work from home. um it's a lot that has to be factored in. And then you have a lot of clearance checks you have to go through. I had to have 4 background checks done, upload verification, identity information, like the whole 9 yards, even before I got on at the company that I'm at. I mean, right as quick as they made me sign that offer acceptance email letter, I had to immediately go ahead and do a clearance check before they can even start paying me. Once I went through the clearance of that and passing the background check, criminal check, and so on, then things in my portal began to unlock for the company. Then I was added to a pipeline for the company, which is affiliated with my work and the platforms that I use for work. I mean, it's just a lot. It literally took me 6 hours to get going, even before I started work. Like the whole day was devoted to invitation links and background checks and paperwork and signing this and signing that. So there is a lot when you're talking about working from home. I have meetings done every day and on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Tuesday, I'm gonna have to be in the work meeting to see what's going on with the platform setup, so that when I do come back to work on Friday, I can know what's going on. So there is a lot when you're talking about working from home. Yeah, there's a lot. And when you're working with other people and networking with other people and communicating with other people, it can get pretty crazy. Like you guys, I'm in Substack for work. I'm just gonna be honest. When I say Substacks, I'm talking about I'm on a platform designed for just employers on. And when I tell you it can get pretty confusing working that, but see, I'm used to working on different platforms. Because when you're working in the technical world like myself, there's technical platforms that we use for the company. It is so crazy what I have to do and what you have to do when you're working from home. Some of these jobs require that you have to have a certain internet, you got to have a certain speed test, you got to have a certain kind of phone, you got to have a certain type of laptop, software has to be up to date. Like my laptop is not up to date with the platforms that's required for my job. But see, I use my phone for my job and it's up to date. So what am I saying? At some point in time, I'm going to have to update my laptop for my job. And some of these jobs require that your speed has to be a certain speed in order to run these software apps that's needed for the job. So it's a lot, you guys. I would recommend, if you're thinking about working from home, you look at all of the details and find writings before you go and apply for these work from home jobs. Please do that. It is a lot when you're working from home. I'm just going to tell you. Like hurricane season, my internet goes out. I still got to work. I got to use the data on my phone. I can't stop working because we in hurricane season. I'm working from home. Unless a tree come through my apartment, or something major happens, yeah. But I still have to work. Still gotta work. You know, and that's what I would just tell you ladies before you think about getting a work from home job. Just know what you're getting yourself into before you get yourself into these jobs. Because some of these jobs are going to demand that you start within a certain amount of time. My job required that I had to start once accepted and approved into the company. I had to be ready to work within 24 to 72 hours, which means that I had to be ready to start working. At least get 3 days of work in before I can start requesting time off. With me moving, and that's why I wanted to get yesterday was like pulling teeth, but I went ahead and got it done so that I can go ahead and make plans of moving forward with transitioning out of my home here into a positive, calmer environment that is aligned more with my work. Um, at least wanted to get on the schedule, at least put some time in. And all of that is being monitored, believe it or not. So I'm going to have to make up um I'm going to have to make up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that means Friday I'm going to be really busy, Friday and Saturday, because I have to put in 1 hour a day, at least 10 to 15 hours a week. So that means I'm definitely going to be busy Friday, Saturday. I know Friday at least 3 to 4 hours. I know Saturday at least 3 hours. In order to get that time quota in for what's needed of the company that I'm working for, at least 10 to 15 hours a week. So it's very, very tedious, you guys. And then with me moving Friday, yeah. It's like straight when I move, it's straight into work. Straight into work, you guys. But anyways, I'm gonna get off of here. I want you guys to have a good Saturday. I know for a fact that I won't be going live next week. I will be using the next couple of days just getting situated with moving and preparing to move. And I know the weekend. I'll keep you guys posted once we move Friday. I know the weekend I will be extremely busy. And Saturday I will be busy. And I will be able to go live the next following week and just update you guys on what's going on. But you guys take care. Have a good weekend. We got rain going on and it's getting kind of cool out here. Um, Cooler weather today. But you guys take care and I'll see you guys in the next one.